Alpaca is a developer first startup focused on building open APIs for stock and crypto trading, investing, and embedding. You can learn more by visiting our website at alpaca.markets. You can also find us on Twitter at alpacaweb3 or join our Discord community also with the invite link at alpacaweb3. Hello, I'm Mariangela Martinez, host of Fintech Underground, and this is Jason Shu, Crypto Growth Manager at Alpaca.
Hello, today we'll be talking to an old friend.
We will be hosting today's podcast about getting into the DeFi and NFT world. Our guest today is Justin Wang, founder of Dappio. Dappio is a one stop solution platform that aggregates yield across DeFi and NFT. With Dappio, you can aggregate farming, lending, staking, and strategy yields, as well as build on top of Dappio. I just want to go ahead and say that any topic talked about in this podcast is not financial, investment, and or tax advice. We encourage our listeners to seek individual advice should they deem it necessary. Justin, can you tell us a little bit of intro about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks again for inviting me to this podcast. Yes, my name is Justin. I got into space 2014, and ever since that, my first job was working for XRP as a marketing lead in Hong Kong for about a year, almost a year and a half. And then later, I moved I moved back to Taiwan. Worked there for Name Foundations for years as well, and then eventually I got myself to a place in Singapore for a VC, and be advising projects to build from 0 to 1, and then also go to strategy from 1 to 2. And then in 2020, I got into Solana as a advocate, and then I've always wanted to build my own projects, but timing really matters. So I haven't really found the right partners at that time. So I kind of took a step back. In 2021, met a couple of developers in our regions, my cities, and then we started really discussing like why is it like to build a project that can disrupt the entire ecosystems. And yeah, here I am. Dappio is well funded. We're around 12 people on the teams right now, over places in Tokyo, California, Taipei, and different parts of the world, obviously. So very excited to share more info about Dappios, also my personal takes on Solana ecosystems.
Thank you. And what made you start Dappio?
So I think there are a lot of motives to start a project or to even a fund project. I mean, obviously, there are people that want to make monies or that want to make money out of the fundings. They will choose to start projects. But for me, it's a bit different. Uh, I started Dappio because I saw the needs for the ecosystems. I was using the dApps on Solana on a daily basis, and I realized that there needs to be change. There needs to be a platform that kind of like helps me to track all my performance, and also to help me to manage or even for me the highest APY out there for the markets right now. Like I said, I think feature should be there. There should be a spot for aggregators without a questions. For DAPPOs, I don't just want to build aggregators. In fact, I think Dappio is optimizers. What does it mean by optimizers? It means that we're here to optimize all these UI UX experience with all the products available on Solana, and then we're not just integrating projects with UI. We're also integrating projects with their backend as well, which means we can do a lot of customizations with the product that we have integrated with. I'll give you guys classic examples in real life. Let's look at Agoda or Travagos or Booking.com. All these tour travels aggregators for flight tickets, hotel accommodations, or even tour guides. Like these are the websites that have aggregated over 1,000 or 10,000 of sites from all different places into one website. So this is something that I envisions as well. The future of DeFi or NFT servers, it should be aggregated or optimized in a place where people can use on a daily basis, rather than figuring out what's going on. Is this protocol safe? Or is the APY sustainable? So there should be a filters, I would say. So yeah, back to the questions. Um, this is where drove me to build Dappio since day one, where I think using Solana dApps should just be as easy as using apps on mobiles. So yeah, by far we have integrated 12 protocols. I don't think anyone has ever done this far of integrations on Solana yet, and we're not satisfied right now. I think in fact we're actually on the way to almost 14th integrations by far, and then yeah, public betas are just right at the corners. We're also very excited to talk about that as well.
How did you first get into DeFi?
Yeah, so I got into DeFi back in 2019. I remember I was in late 2019, mid 2019. I think it was mid 2019. So my first experience was providing liquidities for Ethereum and USDT on Uniswaps. I think you guys probably knows, it ain't about providing liquidities. It's about usage rates. Are there people swapping or not? That will affect the APY itself. So Uniswap at that time had less than 50 million TVLs. I think deposit a couple $100. The APY was better than a lot of platforms, but people just don't know what they're getting themselves into, right? So I deposit UST and Ethereum pair, I think, and I was earning a daily fees with Uniswap, and I got fascinated. I was like, we don't have this for any DeFi's yet. I mean, for any products yet. Like you can earn a passive income in a decentralized manners, and that's the times where I started looking into hybrid networks. There was a balancer, so there was a balancer, hybrid network, synthetics, and yeah, and then also Lens was called Ether Lens. It wasn't called Aave actually. It was called Ether Lens, and later I think Etherland rebranded to Aave. But these are the projects that really struck me in the first place, where how we could work and scale a decentralized product to a financial product for everyone else in the world. Yeah.
What was your experience with raising money for Dappio?
I mean, honestly, raising parts of the journeys, um, it wasn't. It's not as easy as everyone thinks. To be honest, like we raised $7+ million. It took us about 3 months for I probably did endless calls on this. Like I probably did like at least 50 to 80 calls. Just to intro follow ups. But frankly speaking, it wasn't as tough as I thought. Obviously, like a lot of people know my names in some degrees, so that actually made my life a lot easier in some ways. You always do business with your names, with your reputations, and then yeah, and then it kind of like kick off from the first round, where we got some big names to invest. Sorry, I cannot reveal right now. We haven't announced yet, but it kind of like escalated from there. And also timing is very important when we raise money. Like Solana always has this narrative, like the EVM killers. I think price was relatively high that time when we raised. So yeah, I think overall, I do say that I had a pleased experience with the fundraising part.
This 7 mil is just one round,
We split into 4 rounds.
4 rounds. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
And they're all token raised.
the ultimate race.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you guys get into the Solana launchpad first, or did you raise first?
Launchpad as like official hackathons or
I don't know. Did you guys receive a grant from Solana?
no,
Not
no,
at all. Okay.
no.
So I guess you fundraised first, and then you entered the hackathon, and then
Yeah, like the way crypto project do nowadays is you get angels, you get a strong name to back your projects, and
yeah,
then you slowly grow from there. Like it's a network effect. Like people usually look at to like who's backing you, like who are your angels, and yeah, like if your angels are solid, as a all star lineup, it usually
yeah.
does pretty well later on the stage for our
Did
reason.
Steppen start off this way though? Didn't they just enter the hackathon, and then it
Yeah,
just kind of it just kind of gained a lot of attention, and then
yeah, it's kind of funny. I can tell you guys the true story on this.
okay,
So, Stepan and us, we actually joined the same hackathons. For
oh,
Solana hackathons, I think they won the fourth place, but we didn't get into the final round, anyways. So, it wasn't their narrative wasn't being recognized. I would say this way. So,
mm,
I think there is a ladies for multi coins. Not gonna say the names, you guys can
okay,
switch it up. She kind of like became angels for
mm,
Steppens. I like her. She's very passionate and highly motivated persons. So she introduced Sequoia's India.
mm,
That's when how these thesis changes, where how one investor came in and everyone started following. So how like Sequoia India came in, and I think they did some kind of like promise with the iOS listings, which is very important for the apps actually.
yeah,
It just took off from theirs, and people were trying to invest in Steppens, Binance Labs, like Huobi Ventures, all these, Solana Ventures as well. I think there were only a couple, like one or two VC that really believe in Steppens in the early days. But yeah, they did pretty well. I don't. I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue the fact that people say their design has flaws, but to get the product in a scale like this, it's not that hard. Speaking from the founder.
yeah. Who won number one in your cohort? If Steppen was number four.
Yeah. So I think it was Solent. It was Solent.
Okay.
It was the first place.
Well, I
How
thought
like
Solana was older than that, but okay.
wait,
Okay.
Solent was older? No, I think they came from we came from same batch.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I just mistimed it. Got it. Good.
Wait, actually, I think you might be right because it wasn't Solana actually. There's quite a
Yeah.
few. You know what? That's the great thing about Solana. We do a hackathon. Once every 3 or 4 months. So I think
Yeah.
I probably have to do a search up better on this, but don't quote me. I think it's a couple. It's a DeFi project for first
Okay.
place.
Okay. Got it.
Have you seen changes in raising money from a year ago to today if you've been looking for anything?
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm also very active in primary markets, obviously. I definitely see that investors are not investing as active as before. Yeah, more. I think a lot of investors are still waiting for the countdown for the valuations to come down. But I still see smart money being investing aggressively. Uh, to the things that they believe the narratives is there. I mean, we have to look at some realities with some data numbers that back in 2018, only have like not even 1% of the world knowing about crypto or even using crypto. Right now, we are reaching at least about 5 to 6% or almost 10% in the future. So it's a change. We have these numbers, this amount of people are passionate or devoted into the industry. It's hard to see valuation come down, frankly speaking. And in addition to that, crypto project has a shorter. I don't know. I don't want to say this in a bad way, but like people are here for a short term plays, which is beneficiary for investors, also founders as well. that a lot of funding projects are easy to pivot into a new project. For VCs, they have shorter unlock. Usually they profit earlier. So it's a cycles that is happening for this industry, which has been the longest time ever actually. So if you were gonna ask me that maybe in a couple months later is it gonna change or I don't think so. It's embedded to the culture for crypto. People are looking for fast money, quick money to grabs. So I still think that 80% of VC will die. I think the 20% will still survive through the next cycles.
Wow. Okay. So now going into Dappio, can you tell us about the difference between DeFi Wonderland versus NFT Wonderland?
For sure, I think I got these questions a lot from investors or our community members. Is that I think the future of NFT and DeFi should be they will interact with each other interchangeably, meaning that as we're seeing more NFT bar lending infrastructure coming up, and then we're seeing more NFT finance such as fractionized NFT, where you can fractionize your NFT into tokens, and you can start depositing those tokens into liquidity pools, liquidity vaults, and then earn extra yield on top of it. I think this is something that without DeFi, I don't think there will be NFT finance. So I think the visions that we're trying to have for Dappio is that we actually be in contact with a couple of NFT finance projects on Solana where they want to be integrated with. So let's say that you have NFT A, NFT Bs. You can fractionize NFT A into tokens, providing liquidities. Then you have your positions, and then you might use the profits from a fractionalized NFT and then redirect into the DeFi pools. So you're basically earning yield, you're compounding the yields from all these different categories fields. And then so why not putting all these into one platforms, right? It's easier to manage your portfolios. It's easier to track what's going on with your performance. So it turns that Wonderland is to making sure that people can feel safe, secure coming to Dappios, but at the same time leveraging all these top protocols or emerging protocols with us. So obviously, you guys can see on the roadmaps for the phase one focus, we want to aggregate pretty much all the protocols, DeFi protocols on Solana, and then pivot into NFT finance on the phase two. We also building a lot bigger things than people think, right? Which we can talk about later. We also building this universal rabbit hole. It's a framework.
Everyone's looking to segmenting or providing more liquidity, or making NFTs more liquid in a way, right? With
Yeah.
these, yeah, yeah. And there's all these NFT rental protocols too, like Vera, Double.
Mhm.
Um, so whereas like on Steppen, the NFT shoes are not rentable yet, but these protocols on the side are helping them achieve that. Like
Yeah.
it's already live, like it's doable. Um, so yeah, pretty interesting stuff.
I mean, I think the concepts with renting right now is commonly being used. It's like I go on a bike any cities like you can rent this and rent that, return this and return that. I think it's the same thing with internet monies. For example, you want
Yeah,
to play the games. If you need the characters NFT, you don't have to buy the characters. Right? You can just rent the
yeah,
characters and then play the
yeah,
games, and then you can have the items, and then you can
yeah,
whatever items you profit is on chains. Obviously, you can share the profit with player A, player B,
yeah.
which is something that I envision too. So
But it's also really intricate now, right? Like it goes into a smart contract rather than like you can withdraw it into your wallet. So that might prevent. It's not straight up borrowing in a sense. So like if you were to rent apes, you might not get ape coins like drops, for example. Yeah, I mean, I think the implementation and there are limitations to it, and they might be good, because like borrowing apes and getting the ape coins dropped to them, like that was not the intended. Yeah.
But I mean, people don't really get that. Like this market, I think that what got this market is very fast paced is that you get huge amount of people that are big brains, and then big brains. I mean, big brains are they love creating narratives,
Yeah.
ideas, curate ideas. Have innovative thoughts, share that. I think what this is what got into this industry to this place is that literally people don't really care about your degrees. You can have a say on Twitter if your narrative, if your stand of point of view is right, people listen, people follow you. I mean, this is we pretty much save Twitter. And I couldn't imagine was the last time people talk about, hey, tweet this and tweet that a couple years back. But
Yeah.
I recently actually met a guy from Pakistan's a guy just not even graduated from college yet, first year of college. Also developer, self-taught developers on Solana. He really sparked my attention the fact that he didn't graduate from college. He didn't even go to a computer science majors, but he was able to learn Solana through Twitters, through anyway is tutorial websites, which is free, obviously, and then being able to connect with people. He actually inboxed me, messaged me that he would like to be an intern for Tapio. So we were just chatting, but this is how powerful this industry can get. Like literally everyone everyone around the world can have a say, can have contribute in the fair place. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great that he learned that way. That's incredible.
yeah,
Can you tell us more about DeFi V2 public beta?
yeah. So the V2 betas we are scheduled to go live. Um, Not supposed to say this, but last week of August, first week of September, will be the public beta for V2.
Oh, wow,
Oh, this is
soon.
the time. Yeah, a couple weeks. So we're working very hard toward this. Well, I think when we public beta go live, we will have at least 11 protocols on top of our platform. And then later in the stage, we also gonna start opening our vote that interact with the protocols that we have integrated with. I think people don't really get that. We're not only integrating people like projects on the front end. It's not like we built another size just to compensate or aggregate all these protocols in one place. We actually put their code, their programs. We don't call smart contracts on Solana. We integrate with their programs. We integrate with the SDK into our platforms, so we can do a lot of customizations, a lot more than just being a front end integrators. So we can do a radar. So for example, if you deposit your stables into our vaults, we can track the highest APY, lending APY for you, and then we can always maintain the highest performance for your deposits as well. So this is just one of the examples that we could do on top of our platforms. We could also auto compound all the pools are available on Solana that has been integrated with us. So right now we have integrated with Orca, Radiance, Infinity, Sabers, like all the pools that are available on the platforms will be auto compounded. So again, we're not here to competing with anyone. We're here to propel and then promote entire ecosystems. Yeah,
How often does it compound? Is it a daily thing?
it's a daily thing. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And then do I have like the option to like lock up for 2 weeks to get higher yields?
No, you can unlock any times.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I'm not a believer of locking people's up
Mm-hmm.
for these pools, but people have options, right?
Yep.
So again, like all these traffics, they would redirect into protocols, not us.
Right.
So like we were making a lot of noise for the past couple months, but like I think especially this month, that people realize that we don't have projects like Dappio, like projects that are actually helping them to gain more attractions, attentions. So yeah, I'll be very busy on the BD side, you know, just to make sure that these protocols that are integrating with us are also have the standard, have the qualities to provide to our users as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why Solana?
Yeah, it's a great question. I get these questions a lot. even at the Solana Hacker House. So I have advised uh, quite a few projects on EVNs. So I know what it looks like and what it takes, and what issue you faces as a founders to build EVN projects. I think there are a lot of arguments that I can make toward the EVN narratives and the community's EVN. Don't get me wrong, I love Ethereum. I love the innovations there's, but you need a competitor sometimes, right? I imagine the war only has McDonald's without Burger King's, right?
Okay.
I often use this narrative. Like people was like, okay, kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Like we have options. We have to know who is better, right? So, Solana started as a we didn't start it as a EVM killer actually. We started as a notions, as a belief that blockchain should be easiest. It should be easy and cheap and fast to use. So this wasn't the narrative back in 2020 for Solana. It wasn't called as a EVM killer. And later in 2021, Solana was hitting all these tractions exposures, and then you see all these kills start saying that, oh, we won't be using EVN a couple years later. We'll be all using Solana. So Solana actually grew this far. It wasn't promoted this far. Like people don't really get it. Like if you go on Twitter's, and I'm pretty Jason knows how crazy Solana community is on Twitter's, or
Mhm.
Discords. Is that you can always find a blockchains than Solana, Ethereum, Layer 2. There are indeed a lot of better blockchains than all these protocols. But people don't really get that what it takes to be a better blockchain. It's the communities. It's the believers, developers, and the who people behind these protocols. So Solana is unique where, I think people can argue like it's a bit centralized towards EVM chains, but we are improving. I think in 2020 we only have like less than 200 validators. We now have over almost 2,000 validators. We're 10x in 2 years. And then with the price of Solana right now, I can only imagine we're going to increase the amount of validators in the futures. And first is that, and second, I think a lot of people choose Solana. First is communities. There's a user base. Obviously, the people are actually using Solana, whether it's NFT, DeFi. Secondly, it's cheap, affordable. I think this is probably the reason why I think if you want to bring dApps toward mass adoptions, you cannot charge somebody for $50 per transactions. I mean, you might not feel anything if you are holding a decent amount of monies or MetaMask, but we're looking at the future generation people using your dApps, people that are in high school, people that are still in college, or still own school loans, having student debts. These are the people that are not going to choose $50 gas. They're going to choose a place that's cheap and affordable and fast. And third is the culture. I think culture plays a huge role for our decentralized communities. I think Solana has a unique communities, serves as unique cultures that everyone's on the same path. You don't see anyone attacking anyone's any arguments and narratives. Versus, I'm not going to name which chains. On the EVN side of it, you see all these layer two people fighting against each others, and then everyone will come out saying that, what, guys, stop, the merge is happening, you guys are all gonna be walk away with alternatives. I don't think this is the part where a healthy change should have. I think here's the reason why I actually got more bullish, with the layer two narrative on Ethereum. So we only need one layer to transact everything, to be honest. And then in fact, I just got back from Europe. I was there for hacker houses. Like this is the feedback I got from a lot of European developers were saying that they don't want to build a project that they have to build on multiple layers. Blockchain should be one layer. It's like an AWS, GCP, where they should focus on the product, the innovation of the products, rather than there's a one more layers. Oh, like everyone's moving toward there. We have to migrate over to this layer. We have to figure out how can we move over. It's time consuming. I don't think in terms of opportunity cost perspective wise, it's not sufficient. So for a team to build like products like this, why do we have layer two in the first place? Is to become the alternatives. It's to become the alternatives. This is the most important part. When you're building a project, when you're building a product to become the alternatives, you are just eight options. You're not the only options. This is very important. This is very important. So if there's a pizza coming to the tables, you slice that into 4 slices versus 12 slices. It matters. Everyone gets the different portions, and is it concentrated in terms of if we talk about liquidity for the slice of pizza? It's not. Everyone gets their own portion, and the more slice you cut, less portion everyone gets. And this the thing goes to the liquidities for dApps or even for user base. Actually, it's hard to grasp at the user base in other chains. I even hear layer three right now. It's fascinating that
What?
people are trying to create the narrative.
I mean, I know there's a whole movement to like layer zero.
I mean, layer zero has always been there, like Cosmos, the IBC, like it has always been there, layer zero. But
Right.
we talk about layer threes on top of all the layer two. There are people building right now. And I think a couple of weeks ago we had the documentation release. It's called ZKEVN. Not sure if you read that before. I encourage everyone
Oh,
to take a
okay.
look on that. I think the ZKEVN is gonna they're gonna wipe out a lot of layer two.
That would just be layer two itself, though, right? A lot of layer twos have like zk snarks, zk rollups.
Well, I think ZKEVN it was a lot more compatible for the needs for the layer ones. And then I mean, the moment you switch RPC, you are going to a different chain.
Hmm.
Like you're not on Ethereum layer one anymore. Like people know it. Like people actually know the tech. Like the moment you switch RPC, you are changing the liabilities, right? So I mean, all these layer two, they can brag about I'm the solution for Ethereums, but in fact, they're on their own. All right, Phantom, Avex, Metis. They're quite a. They're at least how many layers are there? A dozen of it.
Yeah, probably more than that.
I don't want to sound like I'm arrogant on this, but I think at least the dozen of layer twos.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
like even I cannot keep on tracks of all these layer twos sometimes.
Okay, and so going to recent events, has this crypto fall affected Dappio in any way? And if so, how?
Not really, actually. I mean, the reason why I started Dappio is not to play with the volatility of the markets. To be honest, the reason why I started building Dappio is because I see the visions where we can be a daily use platforms. So I think that's very important, right? So if you look at the on-chain metrics for Solana, we still get at least 50 to 100,000 people using on a daily basis. So there are people still using Solana. Even Solana was at $25. You can still there are a lot of on-chain activities out there. They're still Twitter is still relatively strong. I mean, obviously, it wasn't as strong as before, but this is the part where kind of like still got me motivated in a way that people still talk about the future of Solana. There is a visions. There is a room for imaginations. That means there is a room for improvement. I think this is where Dappio came in. We are solving multiple issues for the current ecosystems. Yeah, very exciting actually. So, our team members are still highly motivated. I know we are right at the corner of for our public betas. I think it's going to be exciting moving forward to see how these users react to our platforms.
That's exciting. Congratulations. Since the fall of 3AC and Celsius, have you seen changes in the way your customers trade?
Mm, I haven't really seen this perspective, but I do think that with the Celsius, BlockFi, all these centralized custodian management companies, it actually made me think that I'm even more bullish on the DeFi side of it. Right, you hold your key instead of giving your private key to somebody else. That's important.
Right, right. Also, there's like two different groups of audience here, right? Like people who have put their money into Celsius. They kind of trusted their spokesperson and these uh, semi believable audits. Um, or they're not really audits, maybe like reports, um, and just to have the money sit there and grow. Whereas it, people who are actively trading on DEXs or DeFi protocols, um, they were probably. I mean, I'm in the middle. I mean, I do I do have. I never use Celsius, but I do use some CeFi services. Um, but I would say like the the average DeFi user, or like ones who believe in fully like self custody wallets, um, they would not be touching like CeFi platforms. So yeah, like the disintegration of Celsius might have uh, it gives crypto a bad name, but um, DeFi traders might not be affected as much.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at DeFi aspect of it, it's like you also have the chance to get rock. You know,
Mm.
from a smart contract perspective,
Yeah.
there's a risk of getting rock. There's a risk of getting hacked. So you just have to take the full liability, knowing that which platform you deposit into, and then like who are the people behind these platforms, right? So I think as the market continues going down, we might see more projects just giving up on their audience, on their communities, and that's why I think there will be less projects surviving, but which means the ones that survive through these cycles will come out stronger. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's a great timing for deleting some projects and then having some new ones grow a lot. Would you like to say anything else to our listeners?
Yeah, I bet a lot of listeners are either investors or developers. Just I think this is the time to get to know more about the projects. When as bullish sentiments, people tend to think that they know everything's. Like, in fact, I think 90% of the people don't really know what's going on with the protocol, with the communities. They don't have the standard to do a better due diligence when the bullish sentiment comes. But now the sentiment is relatively bearish. I think that they have more time to really think through what kind of projects they want to believe in, what kind of narrative want they also buy in as well. And then when the narrative kicks in, this is the time they will make it. I think this is usually what happens, right? I think during the bearish sentiments, it's not easy to discover narrative, but at the same time, this is where the diamonds comes in. Like just have to find the dimes from all these projects, and then believe in it, stay with them, and then I think we will have a prolonged bear market, like in 2017. It's just so much different right now. We have a Wall Street institution coming to the space. We have national banks, or even government of El Salvador. It's a different scales right now compared to 2017, 18. Right back in the days, we won't even hear a institutions coming to crypto. Like
Yeah.
there weren't any institution to be honest. Like, but right now, like we see family offices, J.P. Morgans, Goldman Sachs, Bloomberg's, like these tier A Wall Street companies, firms, hedge funds. They all have exposure to crypto. It's an instrument. it's an instrument for the financial products, for the Wall Street financial products right now. Like, you go on CNBC, like all these financial websites, there'll be a section for crypto. This is going for a mass adoptions. So I don't think it's a polo market. If everyone thinks that it's going to be a pull and bear market, we're going down 400 ether, 500 ether. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know about that because everyone just be shorting, making money.
Yeah.
It's a bit different right now. A lot of people are taking leverage. When people are shorting, they have a chance to get squeezed. Means market can go up.
Yeah.
So I think it's just going to be harder to predict the market right now. But as a builder, we actually we are relieved in a way that we don't have to chase the pace. We don't have to chase the momentums. We don't have to chase the price affecting our developments. So it's a good time to build.
For sure.
Yeah. Justin, thank you so much for joining us in our podcast. It was a pleasure having you here with us, and thank you for sharing your insight. Congrats on Dappio. It's going to be great, and good luck on building.
Thank you. Thank you guys for inviting.
Thank you. You can find Justin on Twitter at Dappio Keeper, Dappy on Twitter at DappyGangNFT, and at Dappio underscore. And Dappio's website is dappio.xyz.
See you guys in the Wonderland.
Yes. See ya. Thank you. The content and comments of this podcast should not be taken as Alpaca providing investment, legal, and or tax advice. Every situation is different and you are encouraged to seek independent legal and investment and or tax advice. Cryptocurrency is highly speculative in nature, involves a high degree of risks such as volatile market price swings, market manipulation, flash crashes, and cybersecurity risks. Cryptocurrency is not regulated or is slightly regulated in most countries. Cryptocurrency trading can lead to large, immediate, and permanent loss of financial value. You should have appropriate knowledge and experience before engaging in cryptocurrency trading.